So this is an update for the lawsuit going on, the active lawsuit from uh well, I wouldn't call her a friend of the channel, but I would say a acquaintance of the channel, someone who knows who I am, Alyssa Mercante. And believe it or not, pushing a lawsuit forward against me. Why? Because I dared give my feelings and opinions on the game industry and the people involved with it. And you know what the weird thing is, Alyssa? Because I know you're watching, or you will watch this eventually when it goes live for you. No one else has ever taken issue with it. No one. And this happens all the time, everywhere. Covering people in the industry, covering transgressions people have, talking about ridiculous situations, and it's fine. But for some reason, with Alyssa, she took personal offense to me calling her out for the same things that she tried to call me out for. I thought it was interesting. Like, this all goes back to her thinking she got a got you on me for making fun of me for investing in Television Amico and losing $10,000 on a game console that I thought would be good for the game industry and interesting. And I had passion behind it and cared about it. And she tried to make fun of me for that investment. And in return, I tried to make fun of her for her sexual acts that she is always flagrantly pushing out there on social media before she decided to start deleting them all. And for some reason, when the bully punches you, it's okay. But when you punch the bully back, it's, oh, I'm crying. I need to cry and get a lawsuit. It's very wild. I do have very diverse ads. You're right. By the way, don't be afraid to click the ads. I get like 0.0001 cents when you guys come to smashjt.com and click the ads. Griff. But she seemed to think it's okay to make fun of me. But when I came back at her, it's, oh no, you can't go there with me. Why? Oh, because you can't say those mean things to me. Why? Because you hurt my feelings. Oh, okay. So fair. But if we're going by that bar, you hurt my feelings too, Alyssa. Why can't I sue you? So you see what I'm getting at with this ridiculousness of this lawsuit is it's very frivolous. There's no use to this. And any judge in their right mind would look at this situation and be like, what are you actually suing this person for? Because they said mean words to you that were reflecting the things that you said publicly. What's your case with this person? I don't understand. I think what it is, if I had to be honest, is I thought that you wouldn't do it. So you're like, oh, I'll prove to you that I'll sue you. Congratulations. You proved me wrong. You did sue me. So you're fucking retarded, in my humble opinion, for doing that. Great. I don't know what that's proving to the overall community, though, because these are things. Could you imagine Tucker Carlson getting sued by anyone he talked about? Could you imagine Joe Rogan getting sued for anyone he talked about? But for some reason, you're coming after me, some little peon on YouTube that's, in the grand scheme, a nobody. Why? Because you want to prove a point. And you thought that I would fold the second that you threw something at me. Obviously, you didn't know me. So let me introduce you to me. First off, you sent a cease and desist to Kiwi Farms, Alyssa. They laughed at you, crumpled it up, and threw it in the trash. Didn't even respond to you. How did you follow up with that? Which, by the way, I plan on talking to the judge if it ever gets to that point. How'd you follow up with that? You just picked a different target. And you found me. And you threw a random 54, I think, plus page lawsuit at me. And I laughed at you. But I didn't crumple it up and throw it in the trash. No, instead, I was like, I'm going to do this the right way. I'm going to hire the best in the land, Ron Coleman, the guy that sent the FU back to Black Girl Gamers and was like, go pound sand, you got nothing. And they cried and they left. I got Ron Coleman to represent me. And he did such a bang up job that you should have taken that and been like, damn, I just got owned by this guy. Looks like I need to look elsewhere. But what you do? No. You stopped and you're like, oh, this person didn't crumple it up there in the trash. They actually took it seriously. They got a lawyer? All right. Let me follow through with this guy. Let me see what he can do with me because, I'm writing a book on Gamergate. I need a target. I need to prove my point. I have to find somebody to push my narrative, which, let's be honest, Alyssa, that's what you're doing right now. And it's pathetic. It's embarrassing, but we all know that. And even a judge will look right through this and see it. Like, that's the funny part about this. Like, you're trying to act like I can't talk about you. You're the one coming at me. I live in America. California, by the way, not New York. Shout out to 8-Bit Eric for the raid, by the way. Appreciate you, bro. I don't live in New York. You don't have jurisdiction over me. I don't care what you guys try to do to pull random other people in and pull me into that. A judge is going to look at that and be like, are you really doing this? Like, that's what you're trying to do on this? It's not going to work. And I don't know how else to tell you this. But the more you dig, the further you go, in my humble opinion, in the long run, the worse you're fucking yourself over in the grand scheme. And that's really legally all I can grant you as far as my advice. But anyways, I put a video on this out today on the main channel, but I said, in an updated development in the ridiculousness of an ongoing legal battle against Alyssa Mercante's baseless lawsuit, which, let's give me a credit calling it baseless. My attorney, Ron Coleman, has reached out and given me some fairly promising news. The judge has now officially issued an order that suggests they're willing to entertain our motion to dismiss. And I'll tell you guys straight up, when I got this message from Ron Coleman, I was like, oh, damn, I'm concerned. And he's like, no, this is actually a good thing. I was like, oh? He's like, yeah, it's pretty much, I mean, in layman's terms, it's the best possible outcome at this current juncture of the lawsuit. Because basically, he was saying the judge didn't dismiss our request for dismissal. The judge was like, yeah, that sounds legitimate. Hey, Alyssa, do you actually have anything? So now Alyssa needs to go back and be like, oh, we need to amend our lawsuit to actually show what we're really mad at. And how they brought up other things, like how new things have come up since the original lawsuit, which they really need to sue me on. And I'm like, oh, this should be rich. What have I done since you sued me now? What have you, I covered the lawsuit about you? I covered your transgressions in the game industry? What have I done for you to get a financial award against me? It's fascinating. But again, I'm not a lawyer. This is just all my opinion on a situation. And I'm trying my best to remain like the person that's being attacked by a crazy person who literally wears a hairpin in their head that says, see you next Tuesday. Can't wait to show the judge that one, because that's who they're dealing with. That'll work out really well for you, Alyssa. I'm sure the judge is going to be like, oh, sounds like a real swell person we're dealing with here. What could possibly be wrong with this crazy lunatic, allegedly? So anyways, the judge has officially wrote this, and this is the actual letter that was sent to me by Ron Coleman. Mercante versus Smash JT. Document number, no document attached. Document text, order denying defendant's letter motion for pre-motion conference. The court directs the parties to confer and file a proposed briefing schedule for defendant motion to dismiss and plaintiff's proposed amendment complaint on or before March 14th. So, guys, we got action going on here. We got action because it's March 3rd right now. They got less than 2 weeks to get back to the court with a amended complaint. Okay? Because the judge is saying, hey, we want to schedule the motion for the defendant to dismiss the plaintiff's proposed amended complaint. We're going to need to see what that amended complaint is. So we got a new lawsuit coming our way, guys. We're going to see what it is. I mean, they might drop it. Pigs might fly. Alyssa might come to her senses and be like, what the fuck am I doing? Or she might double down and be like, hey, no, we need to really try and get this. We need to really find something on this guy, something really awful, illegal that he's done. Which, by the way, spoiler alert, I haven't. And you can keep digging. There's nothing you're going to find on me, which is what's really funny about this, because I know who I am, and I know you got nothing on me. But regardless of that, at this point, this is the best case scenario for us at this stage of the lawsuit. Essentially, the judge is thankfully opting to bypass any of the unnecessary pre-motion conferences and instead now instructed both sides to coordinate and schedule for upcoming filings. This means two things. Motion to dismiss, which Ron Coleman already told the judge, hey, we're going to file a motion to dismiss. Like that was the pre-motion, what we showed before. Now we're just going to do it again and say, yes, here it is. We will submit our formal request to have this frivolous case thrown out as planned. The fact that the court is even considering this option is a strong indication that Mercante's claim may not hold up under scrutiny, and this is not always a given. Yeah, there could be a chance where a judge would be like, hey, we saw your motion to dismiss, but I'm denying that, and we want to hear the complaint. That's not what's happening here. The judge is saying, okay, we'll hear your motion to dismiss. I want to hear their amended complaint, and then I'll make my decision there. And if the decision is, okay, this amended complaint actually addresses something, then we will move forward. But if the amended complaint is just more bullshit like they sent the first time, they're going to be like, yeah, this is bullshit. What is this? What even is this case? Which is why, again, I'm telling Alyssa, don't keep moving forward if you don't have anything. It is a bad idea. I don't know how else to tell you this. I'm not afraid of you. I have the money from this entire community to push as far as I have to come back at you. It's not a threat. It is just the reality of a situation. I'm literally, as a human to another human, don't keep doing this. It's stupid. Anyways, amended complaint. The ball is now in Alyssa's court. If she wants to continue pursuing this case, she must now first revise her original complaint and attempt to address whatever deficiencies exist within it. Shout out, by the way, Kira is here. Hi, Kira. Good to see you. At this point, I have nothing more to do right now. The next move belongs to Alyssa. She and her legal team must decide how they want to proceed, and even if they want to bother. They have until March 14th to submit the proposed schedule to the court. So there will be, regardless of anything, I promise you, there will at least be one more video on the situation. That video could be she has thrown it out and decided not to proceed with anything, or the video will be one that extends into additional videos of her amending the complaint. And she can cry and moan and complain online about me grifting off of this all she wants, but that's her continuing to proceed with it. She could drop it at any time. With each step forward, it's becoming clearer and clearer that this lawsuit is on extremely shaky ground. The judge's decision here signals that our motion to dismiss has value and merit, and Mercante must now scramble to make her case seem viable. And that's not just me being like biased, one-sided. Like, that's legitimately the situation. Like, otherwise the judge would have told us that your case for dismissal is not valid and they'd be moving forward or whatever. But the judge is like, okay, now that's legit. Now I want to hear whatever they're amending because otherwise this is not a case here. Given what we're seeing so far, it's not looking great for her. Last we saw, Alyssa's previous message to the court was to try and drag another YouTuber by the channel name of Hypnotic, friend of the channel, into this for some unknown reason, while also clearly trying to dox his address and have some pretty, we'll just say, ill intentions. She's already doxed me and my family in the original filing while redacting her own address, which I got to be honest was not a great look, which was obviously a clear sign of malintent and an attack on me and my personal life. She's grasping at straws and has nothing to legally cling to. In my humble opinion, which, yes, I did write this, so it is mine. If she continues to ridiculously frivolous lawsuit against me, it'll be for one of two main reasons. She announced she's writing a book on Gamergate, so it would benefit her potentially to add a chapter in her book about the saga. And two, to save her initial embarrassment of withdrawing. Hell, if delusional enough, she may think she has a chance of winning this and thinking about how that could help her sell more copies of the book. And here's the other thing, and this, I didn't even write this here, but I said it in my video about it because I was covering this in my video and I thought about it while I was talking. I was like, well, actually, here's the real reason why she'd continue the lawsuit. Because without it, she's a nobody. Like, legitimately, if she walks away from this, I'm telling you guys right now, nobody's going to give a shit about her again, ever. This is all she has for relevancy. And she could say, well, all Smash JT has is talking about this case. That's why people care about him. But no, go look at my channel. Go look at my views. Go look at everything I cover. The lawsuit is just a feather on top of the game industry of what I cover. My channel has grown much thanks to Alyssa, but also much thanks to Gerard the Completionist, Pro Jared, the Intellivision Amico. I mean, I can go through the list. GameStop. I can keep going. Like, this is how YouTube works. There are situations you cover, people find out about you, and you grow from it. McDizzle and Ubisoft being the latest case in me. This is after Alyssa. You are old news, Alyssa, to me. I am still front page news to you. That's the difference. I don't care about you. You care about me because you have to. That's what you hate about me. Realize it. Deal with it. It's not my problem. I'm the one living the happiest life I can. I can't speak for you, but I'd imagine it's not anywhere close to what I've been on. Anyways, the problem is the longer this drags on, the more costly it could end up being for her. At some point, you got to cut your losses, at least in my humble opinion, before you get in too deep. I hope her lawyers are advising her of the pitfalls for proceeding, which, by the way, when I wrote that, I know people say I'm too kind. I genuinely meant it. I'm like, I hope that her lawyers are actually telling her, like, hey, by the way, if this doesn't go our way, it could end up costing us a lot of money. Even if they're pro bono and everything's free and you think it's great, they have a responsibility to talk to you about what could happen if this goes wrong and what slap suits were created for in the first place. Again, I'm just advising you in case they're not, in my humble opinion, allegedly, and other things you're supposed to say. At this rate, I'm not convinced. As we move forward, I'll keep you guys updated on any more developments. For now, we'll wait to see what Alyssa and her team come up with, if anything at all. Which, by the way, there is a chance. There is a chance she could just wash her hands from this and be like, okay, I tried. He called my bluff. I'm out. And make up some bullshit excuses why you're the victim, but you can't keep going because reasons, and walk away from it pretending that you're the victim. Have at that. If you keep proceeding, I don't foresee this being a great thing, in my humble opinion. Jay Watt says, I think my first comment to Smash JT was criticizing his audio. Now I notice the new mic in the today's video. Yeah. Shout out to Jay Watt, by the way. This is my old mic. Fuck this thing. We got a few comments on the article. We got Sin Shadow Fox said, I have no doubt she will submit an amendment. This is her whole career, her whole identity. If she doesn't win this, then that will be the end of her. It's basically sunk cost fallacy. She's also tried and true woketivist. So yeah, she's delusional enough to think she'll win. My main concern is how many amendments is she allowed to file, and how will that affect any counter/anti-SLAPP suits? Which is a very good question, and I'm no lawyer, so I can't guess, but I would imagine how it works is the judge said, hey, you've had your chance. They've submitted their reason for countering and saying, hey, we're going to throw this out. Now I'm giving you another chance to bring whatever else it is. And in my humble opinion, if I had to guess, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer or a judge, I'd imagine this is kind of it, where the judge is like, all right, yeah, no, what the fuck is this? Get it out of here. I don't foresee a judge looking at that and being like, I'm going to need more. Do you mind going back and sending me another one? Do you think a judge really gives a shit that much? Especially if it's bullshit in the beginning. They're not going to want more and more bullshit. If you don't have a case after 2 tries, what are you doing? So again, I'm just a YouTuber. I don't understand how this stuff works, full disclosure, but that's what I'd imagine is this is their last shot for it. Data says, gamer hate, my years in the trenches exposing chuds. Sounds like a winner. I bet she will sell a max 25 copies. She'll probably sell like, I wouldn't be surprised if she sold like 100 copies or 200 copies of the book. I wouldn't be surprised. Python Bacon, by the way, says, Alyssa will soon have to move onto that octogenarian. So yeah, that is the current situation, up to date with where we are right now. And we will be hearing back by March 14th. So stay tuned. Of course, I will definitely be making a video on that, on whatever it is that they decide to move forward with. But I'll leave that there.